G'day, Ruth. I'm thrilled to be chatting with you today. Just before we start, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from Ngunnawal country. I'm in the NFF office, and I'd like to pay my respects to the Ngunnawal elders, past, present, and emerging. Whereabouts are you coming from today?
I'm in Naarm, Melbourne on Wurundjeri country, and it's a pleasure to talk to you, Katie.
Yay! So, Ruth, tell us, when was your first National Folk Festival?
Oh, goodness me. It probably would have been around about 1995, I think.
Wow.
Something like that. So I was very young. My first year performing at the National was probably the following year, 96, with a band called Closet Klezmer, which some hardcore people from year times past will remember. But yeah, I've not been one of those people that's attended the festival every year rigidly, but I would say most of those festivals since then I've attended. So it's one that's very close to my heart. And as somebody who was living in Canberra when I first started my music career, it's a bit like my home territory too.
Yeah, I've got a few mates who feel that way about Canberra. It's either where they came to study or, like, for example, Andrew Kerwin, who lives up on Gubbi Gubbi country where I live. This is where she was studying. It's where she started her career. She went and saw Claire Bowditch play and went, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And left her degree. I think she was doing something really like law or something legit, and became a full-time muso. So it's great that a lot of people I've met a lot of people who started their careers in Canberra, generally ANU or all of the national. I mean, the national everything's here, including the National Folk Festival. So first of all, we should say congratulations on winning the inaugural Folk Alliance Australia. What was it that you won? Artist of the Year or something amazing?
Artist in the Year. It was co-awarded with another musician named Christian Mizzi, and it was a great honour indeed for the first awards in Australian folk music.
So good. I mean, I don't understand why there isn't a folk category in the arias, and it's such an integral part of our musical fabric. It's interesting though, folk has always tended to live on the periphery and observing our culture, which is one of its beautiful things. But I'm keen to sort of, first of all, broaden the church of folk, but also make people more aware of how many amazing folk musicians there are in Australia. Yeah, we're incredibly blessed. And just checking out all the people who were shortlisted for the awards last year was amazing.
There are so many, and I think independent music in Australia is an incredibly diverse and strong and powerful bunch of, it's kind of our cultural voice, really. I think in a history that where we're still trying to define ourselves, and we're still engaging with immigrant populations and finding out who we are in so many ways. But it's because of that, I think Australia's got, after having toured a little bit overseas, looking at folk cultures over there, and also I'm a folklorist, so I study folklore. And Australia has a really unique and rich history to it, and I think we're only just starting to tap into all of that and embrace it. So it's a really exciting time for culture in Australia.
Yeah, and when I walk around the streets of Canberra, it is such a multicultural city, and it is our nation's capital, and it's been the home of the festival for 30 years. It's a very beautiful, rich and colourful melting pot of colours and sounds. So I'm hoping that will be, as much as our Anglo-Celtic history is obviously core to a lot of us, it's also got nothing to do with a lot of us. I think about 35% of current Australians weren't born here, and the majority of that is sort of our Asian families, Australasian families, India, China, Kuala Lumpur, Taiwan, and then of course Greece and sort of Canada and all of those sort of places. But I'm excited about discovering more and more about the multicultural sort of bands that we have. I'm looking forward to educating myself in that way. But what are you going to be doing this year, Ruth? Because, we've all been in a weird, strange time, us musos, the last 2 years, where we haven't been able to, do what we do. And it's just been so. Have you managed to do many gigs in the last little while?
No, I haven't. In fact, I had a gig last weekend and that was cancelled because of COVID. So, me getting COVID. So finally it's it's all good. But look, I have had the luxury, I guess, of being employed outside of music as well. So my work life is a big juggle, and I've been able to sustain myself outside of music. So I've let that rest for a little while. It's been really hard. It's been incredibly hard for everybody, I think, and even more so, I think, probably from a creative perspective, when you're missing your community and your crew, and for those of us who perform, that's a national thing. There are people that you would regularly see all around the country that you haven't for a couple of years, and that's kind of what sustains you and gives you passion and keeps you connected. And we've tried really hard to keep connected, but looking forward to the National. I think, where it's permitted and people are comfortable, there will be lots of hugs, there will be lots of conversations and possibly a lot of tears too, I'd imagine, getting back into it. For me, it's been really hard because I released my first solo album just before the pandemic, put a lot of work into that, and it crashed just like it did for everybody else. So I'm looking forward to bringing my own solo work to the National for the first time.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's a really big thing for me. After having this connection with the National for so many years. And I think I've probably performed at the National with up to 6 or 7 different acts over the years, but never as myself. So
awesome. Great.
And really looking forward to that.
Luke Plum. Playing with you, and please remind me of the other musicians.
Fiona Steele on guitar.
That's right. Sorry. There are over 200, so I'm trying to keep all that information in my brain. So you'll be playing as a trio over your...
We'll be playing with a trio, and Luke Plum, most of the national audience will know Luke Plum from the band Shugal Nifty, who've been playing here on and off for many, many years.
I've seen them many times. Had a good dance to them.
And Luke and I have worked a lot together with the duo with Kate Burke over the years as well. So old buddy, massive chops on the mandolin and on the bouzouki, and Fiona Steele's fairly new to the folk scene, but a fantastic songwriter in her own right. Awesome. And a wizard on guitars. So looking forward to having her on board too.
And then I think you're also joining us for Songs of Judy Small. Songs of Judy.
I have been honoured to sing one of Judy's songs, which I've been learning, and I'm so pleased about that. Judy, I first met Judy when I was 19, I think, in a committee meeting with her partner at the time, and she immediately took me on board and gave me the what's what in terms of being a woman in the industry. And over those years, our paths have crossed and diverged. I recorded on a live album of hers many years ago as well.
Is that one live at the National?
It was at the it was a Melbourne venue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there was a live at the National album as well, which I haven't been able to track down, but
we'll get the research bugs onto that one. So Judy's and she's been a fantastic supporter of my music, and particularly my last album, which I was really grateful for. So there's that one, and I'm also performing in a concert that Warren Fay has been putting together with a cast of bazillions.
Thousands, yes. And he's so great. He's such an amazing producer. He's like, here's my run sheet, here's the script, blah, blah, and we pretty much worked to make sure that everyone that he wanted wasn't gigging elsewhere at that time. I think we've pretty much nailed it. That's going to be awesome, because Warren was at the first festival in 1967.
That's amazing.
He's a absolute fountain of knowledge, and he's sort of going to be representing that journey over the last 55 years and the journey of folk in Australia. So Yeah, there's going to be lots of special bespoke concerts. That's what I love about festivals. Things like Warren's thing, Songs of Judy, Songs of Joni, things that you'll never see anywhere else, because when will we ever all be able to be together and put it together that way? So yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and that's the heart of the National, I think, is the spontaneity of it. You always end up seeing people collaborate where you will never see them do that in any other place. Yeah. Really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yay. Well, we're thrilled to have you, and thank you also just from me for your personal support. It's been, anything after COVID has had a lot of deep emotional stuff, and I understand that we're a whole new team here, and it's been amazing but difficult learning all the sort of, what do you call it, the intangible intellectual property of a festival that you can't read about in like a book, sort of trying to get to know it. And you've been really supportive, so just a thank you for me for that. And I can't wait to hang out with you. I feel like we know each other really well. We've had so many emails, but we've never actually physically. So I'll be hugging the crap out of you at the session bar one night in just under 3 sleeps. I mean, 3 weeks, not 3 sleeps. God.
3 sleeps, 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, it's 3 weeks Thursday. Yeah, it's real. So rest up.
Turn that amp back on. Yep.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks so much, Katie.
Very soon on Ngunnawal Country.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. See you, Katie.
See you, love. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.